Ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake mukoma aiwa ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake mukoma ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake mukoma aiwa ngapi, aiwa ngapi, bana b'Zimbabwe bakuma naibobati yangwe mapurisa akuma naibobati
all right.
masoja akumawo naibobati mawovedeni akuma naibobati ake mukomana aiwa ngapi, ake mukomana bana vachidana mu aiwa ngapi, ake mayutano da mabasa saka ati ngapi, ake mukomana kutambula saka tati ngapi, ake mukomana ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake nevarito nevatoti aiwa ngapi, ake mukonge vekumaruzevu vapepuka ngapi, ake mukomana masoja akuma aiwa ati ngapi, achicharamba kutambira nyemba ngapi, ake mukomana ngapi, ake mukomana ngapi, ake mukomana.
CUCSMAN music. My friend.
Hello. I'm fine. My brother, there's no sound. This side, there's no sound. I can't hear you.
CUCSMAN music.
aiwa ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake mukomana ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake mukomana aiwa ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake mukomana ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake mukomana aiwa ngapi, aiwa ngapi, ake vana vezimbabwe vabvuma naivo vati ngapinde ake nyangwe mapurisa abvuma naivo vati ngapinde ake masoja abvumawo naivo vati ngapinde ake mawo veterengu abvuma naivo vati ngapinde ake mukomana ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ake mukomana vana vachidana mbuva aiwa ngapinde ake mayuta anoda mabasa saka ati ngapinde ake atichada kutambuka.
All right. All right. That's the track there from Mr. CUCSMAN. It's now on National Live and Direct right here on Zimbabwe Daily. Mr. CUCSMAN, Murugunizwe.
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Yes, welcome to the show, my brother. It's a nice Sunday afternoon for you where you're joining us from South Africa, and welcome to the program. Yeah, without further ado, we'll just jump right into it. I've got some stuff written down here. Yes, who is Mr. CUCSMAN? Tell us about yourself, my brother. Tell us, where did you grow up? What brought you into music, and all the nice things that you can share about yourself.
CUCSMAN is a guy that was born in Gweru in 1991. So I grew up there, but later on relocated to Masvingo. That's where my parents were staying. Like our rural home was in Masvingo. So I attended my primary, my secondary school in Masvingo. Then at some point came back to Gweru. I wanted to proceed with college, but I later then failed because of mari dzanga dzakunetsa. Then I had to. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Mr. CUCSMAN. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Loud and clear.
After failing to proceed to college, my father, ran tourist license. He had a company that he was operating. Then I started to drive him. I had a vision of doing music, but he didn't want me to do music. And the church that I was going to by then, I was considering music as a profession, as something that is maybe I can say they were giving it a name like Zvinhu zvenyika, ita zvinhu zvenyika, like something which is kind of devilish or what, I don't know. So I couldn't do my music then. So I was working with my father, and I was driving him. But then I stopped going to that church. When I stopped going to that church, that's when I went to Oskid. He was in Gweru by that time. That was around 2014. That's when I recorded my first 4 gospel tracks. But now, I received a lot of discouragement from my family members, and they were saying, because I had stopped going to church and I was starting, kudaita music. So everyone was treating me as an outcast in the family because of that. So I stopped doing the music. Then I stopped for about 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. I resumed in 2000 and that was 3 years. I resumed in 2017. I was in Beshnaf, then I met a guy that's called Obey Mhlanga. And I recorded a track with him. Saw
all
my
right.
potential.
Let's just go back a bit there. You mentioned that you were attending a certain church that discouraged you from continuing with music. Do you mind maybe shedding a bit of light which church this was? I just want to, maybe for the sake of some of us that maybe devout Christians that also feel that.
My brother, let me try and
All
get
right.
on the place where I think there is a light.
Okay.
It's getting dark here and I'm outside.
All
So
right.
you were saying?
So I was asking you mentioned that you used to attend a church that discouraged you from continuing with your love for music, and one of the reasons they gave was writing right. So
Yes.
yeah, so I don't know whether you would like to maybe discuss a bit more about maybe not explicitly say which church that was, but who approached you, and was it the pastors, the elders of the church, or was it just the members in the church that were discouraging you from continuing?
No, it wasn't anybody, but it was the system. Like,
Yeah.
because the way it was is like if you could listen to any song from, let's say, I can say maybe Blessing Shumba or Charles Charamba, any other gospel, singers not from within the church, that was something that was not allowed. Like
So
if
you were
someone could
considered,
hear you.
right, you were basically considered as an apostate for pursuing your passion, which was music at the time. In case you're joining us, let me just take some time here to welcome those that are joining us. We're live here with CUCSMAN. How do we pronounce your name once again? It's CUCSMAN, right? Yeah. So we are live with CUCSMAN. He's been one of the strongest voices when it comes to the issues of change. Nyadze Shandugo Zimbabwe, and he's joining us live here from South Africa. CUCSMAN is one guy that we've been following for the past few months. I think many of you would agree that the type of talent that he has is just out of this world. Mr. CUCSMAN, I just want to give our audience a bit of what do you call it, if they can listen to some of the work that you've done music-wise before we continue, just in the next few seconds. For those that may not be aware of who Mr. CUCSMAN is, this is one of the songs that he did. This is just talent that is out of this world. Let's just listen to the song that is actually played they played now in most of Triple C's rallies. This was done by Mr. CUCSMAN, the gentleman that we have on the call today. Listen to this.
Vana veZimbabwe vabvuma naivo vati nyangwe mapurisa abvuma naivo vati masoja abvumawo naivo vati maovhetereni abvuma naivo vati ave mukomana ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave mukomana vana vachidana mbuva aiwa ngapinde ave mayuta anoda mabasa saka ati ngapinde ave mukomana achichada kutambura saka tati ngapinde ave mukomana ngapi ngapi aiwa ngapi ngapi ave nevarito nevatoti aiwa ngapi ngapi ave mukonge vekumaruzivu vapepuka ngapi ngapi ave mukomana masoja akuma naiwati ngapi ngapi ave achicharamba kutambira nyemba ngapi ngapi ave mukomana.
That's the track there, Ngapinde Mukumana from CUCSMAN. I think many of you who have been following the Citizens Coalition for Change rallies, you would have heard this song from CUCSMAN. CUCSMAN has got many other songs that he has done, but that was just one of the songs from Mr. CUCSMAN. Tell us more about yourself. So you then ended up being a driver for your father, like you said. Then what happened after that, Mr. CUCSMAN? I know it's getting a bit dark for you. We will just make sure.
But you can see me, right?
Yeah, live, we can see you, my brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, when I started to, like, when I was working with my father, like, he had so many contracts. Yeah, with MSU, Onge Mine, MCC, a lot of companies in Gweru, like Zunu Fire, and I was getting money, good money for my father. Then pakaita mistake one, ndakabva ndakura musoro. Ndikafunga kuti no, mudhara kundibatira, because I was the one ainyora ma-quotations, everything. So ndakazosvika pakukura musoro ndikati no, mari yatukota neyandirizopuwa namudhara hazvienderani. Ndikati no, mudhara ina handichade basi, ndakuda kuzviitira zvinhu zvangu ndega. Ndakazomboenda ndikanotraya zvandakatraya zvikaramba. Then I had to come back again to my father. We worked together for a while. He bought a car for me, and I started to. That was around 2000 and that was around 2016, 2015, 2016. I ventured into the business of what, buying and selling cattle, but I failed in that business. Kutobroka chaiko. Ndozvakazondituma kuita serious nemusic manje. So in 2017, I was so serious. Ndanda kwa Harare now. I was jobless. I was staying with some cousins, and things were not fine. So I did a song around that time, and I was not happy with the situation of the country. I did a song that's called Zim Cry, but I received a lot of threats from my family members, and they said, no, you don't have to venture into politics because it's too dangerous. By the time Yana Mugabe, things were not as they are now, to be honest. And it was very, very worrying, my father, they warned me. I couldn't do it anymore. So
what year was that, Mr. CUCSMAN? Which you said this was during Mugabe's time? Do you remember?
That was 2017.
All right. So 2017, you ventured into music. You started doing political songs.
This time I was doing Tim Denzel, no more gospel now, because ndanda munhu atosiya zvekunamata zvachose.
Because Nenya Evan of church who were looking down upon you.
No, not really, because pandakasiya chechi yandandichitaura yaindirambidza kuita like kwandaifila kuti ukaita production yemusic unenge uchizwa munhu womunyika. Ndakasiya that church, then I went to another church. That church now was almost the same with Yandandasiya in terms of the way they do their things. So it's like ndiri munhu yao anoda reality, anoda chokwadi. Chakaita kuti ndisiye kuchechi kwandakasiya ndandichitsvaga chokwadi, because ndandichichaerenga mascriptures zvavaiita nezvavaitaura nezvandaida kuona zvichiitika zvazvisiko. So I had to look for another church. I found it. Ndobva ndanamata ikoko kuchechi ikoko, ndikanoreurura zvivi zvangu, ndikabhabhatidzwa. So vakanditaurirawo kuti kana ukareurura zvivi zvako zvese zvauchiri kuziva, ukabhabhatidzwa uchagamuchira mweya mutsvene uchakubatsira kuti paunenge uchifamba uita zvinhu zvako zvese unenge uchikukundisa. So it's like pandakaita izvozvo I was expecting kutiwo zvichandirerukira, unoziva semunhu wenyama by then ndandisati ndaroora. Unenge uri mukomana uchiti ukaona vasikana vakanaka unoida kupfimba, but shoko raMwari ndaifunga kuti rinotaura kuti zvinhu zvakaita se bonde rinonzi ngarive revanhu vakaroorana chete. Zvinhu zvandaishuva kuti ndinge ndichikunda nekuda kwokuti ndakanga ndareurura ndikabhabhatidzwa ndikaita zvose zvakataurwa mushoko raMwari. Saka ndinoona sekuti handina kugamuchira simba racho remweya mutsvene, which is what disappointed me. Kuzosvika pakuti no, ndakumbomira zvokuita sei zvekunamata.
Alright, saka makasiyana nezvekunamata, then you decided to venture into nyaya dzematongerwo enyika like music, as in non-gospel music, because you started off singing in church like you said, and then you, because of the discouragements, you ventured into political music. Makabva mapinda pakaoma, because nyaya yacho, I mean, mazuva acho ndoko hakuna namugabe vachiomesa zvinhu. Saka song yamakatanga kureleasa mati yainzi chi yakakupinzai? Zimcry. Maitaura nezvei paZimcry? What sort of message were you?
Zimcry, it's a song inotaura nezve isong yaiva nekuchema chema nekunyunyuta kuti Mwari dai matinzwa, because of kutambura kwedu sevana veZimbabwe, kubva kwatabva isu vamwe takangozvarwa zvinhu zvakaoma. Saka ndo mostly theme yaifocusa nayo, saka mitonzwa ichinzi Zimcry.
Saka madaro manje, the family then decides kuti no, you've gone a bit too far. You're now bringing unnecessary attention to yourself and the family. What then did you do after that? After Zimcry, did you decide to?
I started to record some other non-political songs, but breakthrough Zimdanzo, it's not that easy. And I worked with quite a lot of, producers, a DKT family, Oskid. I did a song with him, but the breakthrough wasn't, so I ndakungota apo neapo, because nyaya finance manje mari kuno recorda chizve zvichinetsa. So fast forward 2019, in fact, I went back to Gweru, because now ndana nechiedza chekuti munyika hamuna chirimo, I have to revive my father's company. I went back to Gweru, I tried it, and this time that's when I get married. And my wife, she's the one who first came to South Africa. Then she called me ti kwamuka mukana webasa. Saka I went to South Africa, but unfortunately ndakasvika position yebasa racho yatorwa. Then I became jobless and I was stuck in South Africa. That's when I got into politics in real, because I was frustrated with the situation in Zimbabwe, because in Zimbabwe I was trying to rebuild my father's company, and I was trying to, there was a product yeku uraya mapete that I wanted to introduce. So the process requires so much money, and I didn't have the money. But the product, I had even taken some samples to the Ministry of Agriculture, and they had approved them. But for me to start selling, they said they wanted me to have a warehouse, a lot of things, some machines and stuff like that. I didn't have those things. That's forced me to come to South Africa. And as I was jobless in South Africa, I thought of a song. That's when, I started to see the importance of supporting Nelson Chamisa, because back then I wasn't serious. Even ndaitwa munhu aitombomushora, because ndakaita heartbreak my elections at 2018 and it.
Yeah, 2018. That's when there was a general election in 2018. That's the last general election. Yes.
I had a serious heartbreak that was caused, in fact, I have to put it this way, that was caused by Nelson Chamisa, and it was the MDC Alliance by then, because you see, I really loved to see them ruling Zimbabwe. but now nenyaya yekuti vakazoenda kumakotsi vakandopirwa vakatadza futi kunohwina court case yacho, ndakabatikana zvokuti ndakafunga kuti no, varume ava vaite sei, havabatsire. Ndo mafungiro andaitoita panguva iyoyo. But pandakazoya kunoku ndakazotanga kuona something, ndikati no, ava varume ava kava kuti vakunde vanoda support yangu. How can I support them? Ndo pandakaona kuti no, ini ndinoita zvekuimba. I can maybe create some music that can encourage what? The youth to register to vote, to take politics seriously. And that's when I released the song yainzi Nobody Can Stop Nero. Ndingati ndo pandakatanga kusapota chamisa zvine mutsindo chaiko chaiko, because kumashure kwese kundamuka vanoziva chaiko ndichinyora chero paFacebook, ndaitombowa munhu aitombomutsoropoza kuti vakadhakwa chichi. Pandakazojekerwa nechiedza ndikaona kuti no, there is no way him alone and the leadership can bring change without my help, without someone else's help. So that's when I released the song Nobody Can Stop Me.
Muruti Mr. CUCSMAN, kuyenda kwamakaita ku South Africa, your move to South Africa kind of opened your eyes and you realized how much we needed change in Zimbabwe because of the predicament that you found yourself in when you go to South Africa.
Exactly.
Yeah, Saka, in other words, kuti masvika ku South Africa, like everyone else who moves to a foreign country, you're moving there for better pastures. Instead of actually having those better pastures, you realize kuti ndiripa one. Yeah.
So in other words, in other words, I mean, like, if I may put it in a simple way for people to understand, when I was in Zimbabwe, it's not like I wasn't seeing the situation that it's bad in Zimbabwe. I was seeing it, and I even did some skits, ndichitombotsoropodza hurumende yavamunangagwe. But the fear, just the fear yekungoti sezvinhu zvatagara tinazvo muZimbabwe kuti kunourawa vanhu kana ukatsoropodza ZANU-PF, I was too afraid. But when I came this side, I felt like maybe you see, I think you understand what I'm trying to say. Kana uri kure ne danger, uri kure ne moto. I felt like maybe I should speak freely, and there was no one maybe close by to I mean, give me threats or what. So ndo pandakatanga ku gain a confidence. No, I can speak out. So I started to be too vocal at that period.
Right. So you get to South Africa, things are not as rosy as you think, and then you are reminded of Zimbabwe. I mean, the place that you'd left behind, that we desperately need change. Then what happens? Can you tell us which year this was, and what then happened? What then did you do next?
Yeah, that was 2020, late 2020. I released that's when I released Nobody Can Stop Nero. Then I don't remember the month. I was on Twitter, then I saw this other statement that was circulating. Kuti there was maybe a soldier akareceive salary yake ikamurwadza akapedzisira ati ngaapinda hake mukomana. I think I read it from Freeman Chari's tweet. Saka I read the tweet, then I mean, something came into my mind. That's when I created the song ngaapinde hake mukomana. That's where I got the motivation from. Ndichingoona nema comments aitaurwa ipapapo. So I think from then zvichienda mberi, the support that I was receiving from people, the shout outs and everything, zvakandisimbisa kuti ndione kuti no, I can really do something, and I can maybe help in this way to motivate the young to maybe join politics and maybe, speak out.
Yes. So those that are joining us, we have our lovely CUCSMAN here on the show. He is just telling us how he ended up in politics. As you know, Mr. CUCSMAN is one of the most vocal voices, at least outside Zimbabwe, those that are seriously pushing for the Citizens Coalition for Change. He's someone who has not just sat down and sulked in terms of how he feels about the situation in Zimbabwe. But he's doing something about it. We can tell from the music, some of the music that he's released. I think I'm one of his biggest fans. I listen to his music. And just yesterday, I think you released the praise and worship song on your Facebook page. I remember listening to it, and I just couldn't, I just marveled at the talent that you have, Mr. CUCSMAN. Now, let's go back to the issue yeshandugo Zimbabwe. I think most people who have moved into South Africa have just, and those that have gone into the diaspora, most of them have just resigned to the fact that it is what it is, and we just have to. I'm sure even the government in Zimbabwe wants as many people to leave, so that at least, especially the ones that seriously want change, they are even processing the passports to make sure that everyone leaves, because the ones that are disgruntled, the ones that are angry have left the country. So which means that everyone who has stayed behind is pretty much someone who agrees with what is going on. What is your message to the people that have left the country because of what's going on?
I just want to tell people that, especially the young people, I think most people that have been like in South Africa, they see how things are done in South Africa. You see, we see people of our age. You see, they don't hustle too much, and kunzvimbo yandinogara inini kwakamboita the other place, vanhu veikoko vanenge vanga vasina magetsi, maybe vanga vakapiwa promise neEscom kuti vachaisirwa magetsi, but maybe yanga isina kuzadzikisa that chivimbo ichocho icho. You see, they closed the road for 2 months, and vanoshandisa mugwagwa iwoyo, they had to use other means ekuti vaende kwavanoenda. Such kind of kuremekedzwa kwekodzero, nothing was done to them, no one was killed. I think they've burnt about 2 trucks emapurisa. No, not even a single person was killed in that issue. You see, kusvikira Escom yaisa magetsi ndokuperawo kwakaita nyaya yacho. Inini ndichizviona ndakazvifarira neimwe nzira, nekuti isusu sevana veZimbabwe, kana tikasaremekedzwa nehurumende yedu, hapana zvemumwe munhu anotiremekedza. Ndosaka muri kuona tiri kutiza tichiuya tizama kutsvaka kurarama kune dzimwe nyika. So ndikuda kuzama kuti we have to do something so that the power rinodzoka kwatiri isusu vana veZimbabwe. As a people, we have to.
You are advocating for radical measures in terms of vanhu vari kuZimbabwe. Is that what you're calling for? Kuti, if we cannot bring change through whatever means that the people in Zimbabwe have been trying to, are you saying that we should take matters into our own hands and try and like the example that you've just given there? Do you think it's a wise idea for people to take matters into their own hands and
No, I wasn't trying to put it that way, but I was trying to give a reflection. Ekuti, we have the only way now that we can see these things happening in Zimbabwe, kuremekedzwa kwekodzero dzedu sevana veZimbabwe, is only when we remove ZANU-PF. And to do that, we have to go and vote in numbers, especially the people in diaspora, because these old madalas that we have, I think it's better for us to work with the people like Nelson Chamisa. He's of our age, and tikataura now, I think vanogona kunzwisisa, rather than kutaura nemunhu anokudza kuti hauna kuenda kuhondo, you can't say anything. So it's very difficult for us to work with these old people, because whenever we want to speak, they can just tell us that imimi hamuna kuenda kuhondo, just keep quiet. So it's better we just start to work with some people vezera redu, veage yedu, vekuti tikavaudzawo zvinhu vanogona kutinzwisisa.
Right.
This one, they have to rest.
Yes, and you're right, Mr. CUCSMAN. I think you've just clarified your position there, Kuti. You're calling for every Zimbabwean, every able-bodied Zimbabwean, especially those that can vote, message yenyu Mr. Cooksman ndeyekuti we should use the constitutional means to remove the current government in Zimbabwe.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you are encouraging every single South African, I mean Zimbabwean in South Africa, to actually. So how does it work? I've often wondered how Zimbabweans in South Africa can vote. Are you saying those that need to register, they should go home to register, right? And then once they are registered, when in July 2023, this is around the time when we expect the next election, you want everyone in South Africa basically to go to Zimbabwe to vote, because they can't vote in South Africa. They have to go back home, isn't it?
Yes. My brother, this thing that I'm talking about is not for vamwe vanhu vaya serious. If you are really serious, because what I just want to tell people is that what we are doing of running away from our country is not going to help. It's not going to help us in any way, especially when we see other countries vakutanga kuita zvazviri kuitika even kuno kuSouth Africa zvokuti hatichadiwa isusu semazimbabweans. Even takaona kana kuBotswana kwakaitikawo nyaya yakaitika yekuti I think takutanga kungova nechimiro chiya chekuti karamba muchingotaurwa kunzi vazodai and zvimwe zvinhu zvezvichitaurika, we are being painted as if we are very very bad people. Zvichapedzisira zvakutika tichapedzisira tava vanhu vasingagamuchiriki kune mamwe manations, and the only way that we can.
That has already happened, Mr. Cooksman. I think you would agree with me, kuti vanhu vari especially South Africa and Botswana, the example that you've given are here in Namibia and even Zambia, it's the same. Kuti zo muZimbabwe nakuita kunge munhu anonhuhwa, handiti ukasvika pane vanhu, no one wants to have you around them, and it's not a good situation to be in. And saka what you are saying, Mr. Cooksman, kune munhu ari kuZimbabwe who's thinking about crossing the Limpopo into South Africa, what is your message to them?
My message is simple. I know the situation is not as easy as we may think, because some people, they have got families. Most of these people that have left Zimbabwe, they've got families to feed, and it's very very difficult for them to raise money to go and register to vote and come back and maybe later on go back again and actually vote. So those who has the money to do that, please, you have to go and register to vote. And I've been thinking that, I don't know kuti nyaya dzekuregister, I have to get that information kuti dzinozopera zvaita sei, like next year kuchavharwa kusvikira rini, because ini ndanchifunga kuti zvinogona kuva wise kuti uende paperiod yekuti unokwanisa kungonoregister kuvhota uchibva wagarirako, uchibva watovhota, then wodzoka kawana, than kuti wobva wamboenda wodzoka ine. Ndoziva kuti vanhu vazhinji zvino mari dzinonetsa.
I think pane blitz iri kupera musi wa30 April. I think it opened on the 1st of April, if I remember well. The voter registration blitz.
And after this one, zvine zvatopera.
I think there's going to be an opening for anyone who might have information on this. Please feel free to help us in the comment section. But I think once they close on the 30th of April, there's going to be another window in September. And after September...
The blitz, the thing about the blitz is that the blitz can open, it can close, but there are registration centers that will still be open, like maybe, but they will be in a major towns, if I'm not mistaken. And this will be very difficult now for someone from Mangura or from Zaraban or where to go to Harare to register to vote. Then we have got another way if people in diaspora cannot actually go and register to vote. We have another way, and this might be the best way, because each and everyone here in diaspora has got a family that might consist of 7, 6, 5 people. And we have seen that from our last by elections, the vote turnout was very, very poor. It can be a very good opportunity for people in the diaspora to campaign within our families. You have to make sure that your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, they've got to vote for change. They are registered to vote. You
In fact,
have to make.
that's a very good point that you're making there, Mr. CUCSMAN. For those that are joining us, welcome once again. This is a live interview. We are speaking to one of the greatest proponents or voices for change, Nyaya Shandugo kuZimbabwe. Mr. CUCSMAN is joining us live here from South Africa. Tiri kuzama kuti vatibetsere kuti tione kuti tingabetserana sei semhuri yeZimbabwe to bring the long-awaited change that we all been yearning for. Mr. CUCSMAN says kuti munhu wese ari kumudiaspora kana une hama, and I think that's an easier option there, Mr. CUCSMAN, nokuti kana munhu ane hama, kana una nasekuru, vanambuya, vazukuru, kana une anyone that you have in Zimbabwe.
Because you know what, my brother? Let's think it this way. They say in South Africa alone, they are about let's say more than 3 million people that are in South Africa. Let's assume they take this idea seriously. Each and every one of us, like myself, I've got, let's say, I've got more than a lot of people, more than 30 people of my relatives that I've got access to, that I can actually talk to, that I can convince. So you can do your math and see that the people in diaspora, even if they don't go and register to vote, maybe they don't have the money or what, they can motivate enough number to register to vote and out ZANU-PF.
Yes, in fact, that's a workable strategy. I've always advocated for such a strategy where because realistically everyone is in the diaspora to feed their families, and it munhu wese akaenda mudiaspora kuti atsvage mari. So it might not be realistic for them to leave maybe South Africa or Botswana just for the purposes of going to register. Saka zvamuri kutaura, Mr. CUCSMAN, I think that's even a more workable plan yekuti kana munhu une hama, let's just say you recruit 3 people, you have 3 of your relatives, toti munhu wese, like the number that you've given, 3 million, is it in South Africa or the whole of the diaspora? How many do we
I'm not sure, but if I'm not mistaken, I once heard someone telling me that maybe they were saying the whole of the diaspora, but
let's just work with the 3 million. Let's say kuti maybe just 1 million, because we know kuti pane pa 3 million ipapo pane vezanu nevamwe vasi who are just indifferent, who don't really care about what happens to Zimbabwe. Let's work with a number of a third of
1 million.
Yes, let's say 1 million. Varimu diaspora. We're looking at South Africa, Australia. We're looking at the United States, Canada, the UK. Let's say kuti pane 1 million who seriously want change in Zimbabwe. If 1 million Zimbabweans in the diaspora recruit 3 or adopt 3 voters, and that's apa tiri kuti munhu otsvaga muzukuru nasekuru nambuya, and kana even if zvichireva kuti wovatumidzira mari yekuti vanokwira bhazi voenda, kana vari kumhangura voenda kuHarare, but make sure kuti kana wavapa mari, they need to give you the evidence yekuti vaita sei varegister. Kana aregister okutumira slip, and anditi tomboti muri kudiaspora semi, Mr. CUCSMAN, motumirwa slip inoratidza evidence yezita remunhu. Anditi kana waregister unopuwa kaslip kake, mochengeta kaslip kako kevanhu venyu 3, and saka tane 3 million vanhu vapromotwa nevanhu vari kudiaspora. Those are 3 million votes for change. This is just the push from the diaspora, and last time I think the election was decided on a few thousand votes. I think Mnangagwa had something like 2.6, and Chamisa had 2.4. Saka kana tikatora 3 million vabva kudiaspora nevamwe 2 million vagara vanga vachazovhotera Shanduku vari kuZimbabwe, pane vanhu 5 million andiri.
But brother, this idea is brilliant, I'm telling you. And if people really want change, it's something that they've got to take seriously. Because we
should they wait or they should start now? Because in India, 3 and vandakato recruit. I've adopted 3 people, but yeah, madzangu I mean, with the little that I have, ndikaudzwa kuti handingangorambika kupera kwemwedzi. Vamwe they actually remind us that the month has ended.
Yes.
Saka ndikati no, let's look for a more permanent solution to this problem. Iwewe chitora 5 cents, I mean, whatever amount that we agreed kuti aende kuno register. Chinditumira slip, and for the 3 people vandandichikudza ndakabva ndati kana pasina slip hapana evidence kuti waita sei waregister. Saka those 3 slips I'm holding them, and I'm just waiting each and every month. Kana masenza ndenichitumira ndenti I remind them kuti shamwari maslip aya ndinawo handitika. We are almost 12 months away to the next election. Paya paunenge watumira mari woti this is a more permanent solution to the problem that we are having every month. Saka make sure kuti 12 months from now kana paitwa ma-election uri kunovhota. And what do you think, Mr. CUCSMAN?
My brother, I don't need to add anything to what you have said. This is a brilliant idea. I've already done that because I've got a little sister and a brother that relies on me, and I'm just happy that my father and my mother they are already active voters, and I have 4 people that I can convince to vote for change. Imagine. So these 2 other, the brother,
minimum year 3, and it mune 4, mune 5, even that 3 million yatachaura nezvo, it can be reached quite easily, isn't it, in terms of the drive from the diaspora to get people to vote?
Yes. Because one other thing that I want to tell you is that the people in the diaspora, they've got a voice that can be heard, because mostly these are the people that are funding my activities. They send money, they buy my pews, they buy medication for old people, they buy food, they send school fees and stuff like that. They can actually, command people to do something, because kana vakaramba kaunoona ngotaura kuti ndakumbomira mozvionera, because zvinenge zvichinetsa.
But how serious are people in Zimbabwe, though, Mr. CUCSMAN? I don't know. I don't mean to say anything to antagonize them here. How serious do you think Ivan Warugu Zimbabwe are serious about this?
My brother, I don't want to lie. I don't want to lie. I've been in Zimbabwe like maybe 2 weeks back. The damage that has been done to us as a nation is too much. Maybe I can say by Mugabe or whoever, I don't know. Is it education or what? I can't tell. But to be honest with you, we have become so reluctant and we have become so comfortable with suffering. When I was...
Saka Murguti, even this initiative, do you think it's going to fail because of the attitude of Warugu Zimbabwe?
Now, this one will work, because this one, the reason why I like this one, it will work because, like myself, the reason why my little brother and sister went to register to vote, it is because they wanted money from me. They wanted money for food. I told them that I won't send any money if you are not registered to vote. Now that they are registered to vote, they are using that as an excuse to say, you have to send money. We need more money because, we have done what you have asked us and we are going to vote for change. And you see...
Saka ndo zvatiri kutaura kuti, in case you're joining us, tiri kutaura Mr. CUCSMAN, one of the biggest voices that you ever find online panyaya dzeshanduko. Mr. CUCSMAN is based in South Africa, and he's been sharing with us his experiences in terms of zviri kuitika kuZimbabwe. Vari kutiwo Mr. CUCSMAN, vanhu vari kudiaspora, they can make a significant change panyaya dzema-elections the next year. 2023 is just 12 months away. Just over 12 months away. And nyaya yekuti tozotanga pa last minute, Mr. CUCSMAN vari kuti no, hatingamiriri last minute, let's start now. And kana une hama, Mr. CUCSMAN vari kutiwo um, give that hama a condition kuti kana uchida rubetsero kubva kwandiri, handiti kana uchida mari yeshuga, mari there is only one condition yekuti unofanira kunoregister to vote. I've even seen vasikana vechidiki, I've seen on Twitter vamwe vari kuti vanenge vachipfimbwa nevakomana vari kuti kana usina kuregister kuvhota hapana kuita sei kudanana kwatiri kuita panapa. Saka even whatever means that you can use to make hatisi kuti vhotera zano or triple C, but at least register and then also decide musi my-elections kuti uchaisa but Mr. CUCSMAN, I think you're not mincing your words panyaya dzekuti vanhu vovhotera chii kana varegister.
Ipapo ndaida kutokukorekta ndazongoona kuti saelder handingazoite kudaro but inini handitenderere, ipapo ndo pandisingatenderere and ivo vanhu veZANU-PF kana ivo vamunangagwa chaivo nana vachiwenga, it's something that they know, kungova stubborn zvavo kwavanongoita, but even munhu wese wokuzanu unoziva ndosaka muchiona vachizopedzisira vakutaura kuti munotiita sei, tine army, tine police, tine zvakati. They know that they've failed. It's not something that they need to be reminded about, and it will be very, very ridiculous to find now a general citizen, thinking otherwise, that, well, who should I vote for? Of course, you should vote for Nelson Chamisa. Where else can you put your hope in?
All right. Saka, apana, there are no two ways about that, Mr. CUCSMAN. I think we are running out of time, Mr. CUCSMAN. I appreciate the time you spent talking to us here on Zimbabwe Daily, right here on the 24th of April 2022. Tina Mr. CUCSMAN, hakuna voice reshanduko randinoziva at least online today rinopfuura ra Mr. CUCSMAN. The music, this is one talented young man who does not only talk about change, but he's also doing something to make sure that we have the change that we need in Zimbabwe. Tombodzokera panyaya music. I know kuti Mr. CUCSMAN tine time yekuti tichazodzoka zvakare. We are planning to be running this show every Sunday where we can actually encourage people to go and register to vote. Todzokera kunyaya yemusic. I know kuti muri Mwari akakukomborerai nezwi rekuimba. Would you like to maybe sing for us? I don't know what song. And this is a live show, by the way. We would love to hear you maybe take one of your lovely songs and sing to the audience tonight. Yeah.
Maita kundidzipa pahuro mandijuma.
Yes. I think it would be nice to hear you sing for us, Mr. CUCSMAN. I know you are talented. Amu jumik.
The reason why I say that is I usually don't like singing out. Kuno vanhu vaya vasingarare kuno, yes, they are all over outside, and varitoshamisika kuti kwari kuiteiko mukomana uyu, because I'll be sometimes speaking in Shona and they love Shona. So anyway, I'm trying to think what I can actually sing for. Is it, you said I should sing something gospel or what?
Yeah, any song, by all means, feel free, and whatever is comfortable for you to sing for us. I
would love to sing Nobody Can Stop Nero.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Chamisa on WhatsApp, Chamisa on Facebook, Chamisa everywhere, Chamisa on Twitter, Chamisa on the news. Everybody likes him. They've tried to stop him in so many ways, frustrating the people of Zimbabwe, frustrating the people of Zimbabwe. But ZANU-PF thugs keep on wasting their time. They know for sure that Nero is the only one left. Hope of Zimbabwe. Nobody can stop Nero. Nobody can stop Nero. Nobody can stop Nero because the people like him. Nobody can stop Nero. Nobody can stop Nero. Nobody can stop Nero because the people like him. Thank you very much.
Hey, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you very much, Mr. Cooksman. I don't know how much I can thank you for taking this time to be with us tonight. I know it's been quite tight for you. Even when we're planning this program, things were not coming together, but you went out of your way to accommodate us this afternoon. I just want to thank you for taking some time to be with us. Just your parting words here, Mr. Cooksman, panyaya dzeprogramu yatoda kuita every Sunday yekuti tete naMr. Cooksman vachitaura nyaya dzekuti tingabatsirana sei semhuri yeZimbabwe to ensure that we, as many of us, are registered to vote. This program is targeted mostly at the diaspora. Those that are in the diaspora, Mr. Cooksman vataura vati kuno diaspora, we can actually at least motivate those that are back home to go and register and vote. What are your parting shots?
You know what, my brother? Before I go,
Yeah.
I'd love to say this again and again and the reason why I love to focus on the people in diaspora. Vanhu vakavhurika, they've been exposed to some of the best, you know, technology, you know, political environments. They've
Right.
learned a lot of things. And like I doubt you would find a person like me or any other person in the diaspora. Maybe let's say they've went home. I don't think you'd find them kumanyira passion Java wachiti binga. They can't do that. It's only for those people that haven't seen Lamborghini. Here we see them everywhere. You see, or maybe kuti munhu anovhunduka nokuti munhu arushandisa iPhone. It's not something chinoshamisira. Saka vanhu vari kudiaspora vakavhurika. Vanhu vekuti ndonga chero zani inotoziva kuti those are dangerous people. If pane mukana chaiko kuti vangaenda kumusha chaiko chaiko kunzi vese vari kunoreisa kuvhota, anobva nemaseconds. Step here inonyengedzwa neporiji kana maufu zvavanopa vanhu zviya never. Asi I just like the fact that ivo vacho vari kumusha kuti vari kuvhurika futi. Tinozvifarira izvozvo, saka ndongoramba ndichingokurudzira vanhu kuti no, patinenge tichitaura paichitaurana pamafoni, pamawhatsapp, pangava papi nehama dzedu dziri kumusha, ngatirambe tichingoyeuchidzana kuti no, zvakwana, kwatabva kure, takudawo shanduko. Tinovatenda ivo vacho vanoti vakarwa hondo, tinovatenda chaizvo nekutunungura nyika, ngavachizorora, timbopa vechidiki nyanga idzi, nyika iende mberi.
Yes, mavanzwa Mr. Cooksman, and no mataura zvakanaka Mr. Cooksman, tinotenda nenguva yamatipa kuti timbonzwa kubva kwamuri, and the song that you just sang there and the voice, it's just out of this world. We thank you, Mr. Cooksman. We'll definitely have you next week. Please promise us that we'll spend some time together once again to encourage, especially those in the diaspora.
Like what you have said, my brother, I think it's better every Sunday we schedule this kind of shows, and maybe if possible, we should try and bring in more and more young people so that we discuss and encourage each other to register to vote. This is very important for us. I would rather spend my whole day talking about these issues rather than chasing some stupid stories of leaked sex tapes and stuff, and those stupid scandals that we always see on Facebook or wherever. This is my stuff. I don't get tired of digesting this kind of stuff. So thank you very much.
Yes, no, we thank you, Mr. Cooksman. I think you are one of a kind in terms of nyaya dzekuti tive neshanduko kumusha. Like you're saying, kuti most of our young people are immersed in these nyaya dzamuri kutaura, nyaya idzodzo dzemakuhwa, dzegossip, dzekuti mining vazoita zvakati and stuff, and yet the country is going down the drains. But we have enlightened young men like you who understand the times that we're living in and what sort of change that we can bring to our country. To be nice kuita nyaya dzemakuhwa makasununguka ndeti, when you know kuti nyika yasununguka and everyone is having a good time. So once again, Zimbabwe, we want to thank you for taking some time to be with us here. Mr. Cooksman, let me give you the the honors of giving us our last words for this show tonight. Please go ahead. What is your parting shot?
Everyone, every young person, Zimbabwe doesn't belong to ZANU-PF. It belongs to us. We really have to be serious about, registering to vote for change, safeguard our vote. And we have to, we have an alternative. If you can't go home to register to vote or vote, you can actually encourage your brother, your sister, your mother, your uncle, your grandmother to do that on behalf of you. And change is possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. CUCSMAN. It's been wonderful having you here. We will leave you listening to one of Mr. CUCSMAN's songs. This is Ngapinde Zwake Mkomana. Same time next week. Bye for now.
Aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana.
CUCSMAN music.
Aiwa ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana. Ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana. Aiwa ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana. Ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana. Aiwa ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana. weZimbabwe wabvuma naivo vati ngapinde ave nyangwe mapurisa abvuma naivo vati ngapinde ave mkomana. Masoja abvumawo naivo vati ngapinde ave mawo veterengu abvuma naivo vati ngapinde ave mkomana. Ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana. Vana vachidana mu aiwa ngapinde ave mayuta anoda mabasa saka ati ngapinde ave mkomana. Achada kutambura saka tati ngapinde ave mkomana. Ngapinde aiwa ngapinde ave evarito nevatoti aiwa ngapinde ave mkomana. Ngevekumaruzevhu vapepu ngapinde ave mkomana. Masoja abvuma naivo vati ngapinde achicharamba kutambira nyemba saka ngapinde ave mkomana. Ngapinde ave mkomana.